morning, Khor. I couldn't help welcome you, but I welcome myself to TTT again. So every year I will come down once to lecture on this entry like this. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Khor Guan Han. This is my email address. My education background is mechanical. I actually graduated from University of the Accreditation, United, so in mechanical. My working experience, I first start really from the past. The first job is actually working for FMC as a wellhead product design engineer. I spent almost 4 years in Singapore in the HQ there. Then I got localized package back to KL as a senior technical support engineer. So in almost 6 years, then somehow I wasn't really applying desperately. I still satisfied the job, but somehow in the end I got an offer from Shell. That's when Shell, that time I think 2012, it's where the booming for oil and gas in KL. There is where a lot of company trying to localize more local talents. So inshallah, I got the opportunity to join Shell as a drilling engineer. So I first started as a trainee, outside operation engineer. About 3 years working on some offshore campaign and all this. Back and forth to office. It's really the learning time. Quite a steep learning curve there because for Shell they have Khor Guan Han. That's quite similar to what PETRONAS have now. Whereas in PETRONAS Carigali Sdn Bhd, they actually have an LRD program. So basically they are quite similar. But probably now it's more compact. If you're aware, after you guys got the opportunity to join, later on you will see it's become more and more compact. Those days probably we can spend 2-3 years, even 4-5 years to just complete that things. But now it's always like compact. They want you to, they want to expedite your learning to be more competent and can perform, can do your job, can complete your projects even earlier. Okay. So then I was promoted to staff well engineer in Shell. Then I started doing the full cycle. They call life cycle well engineer as well. So we plan the wells, then we execute, we support through the operations. Then after almost 7 years in Shell, then I actually wanted to be in KL. So I applied and I got a job offer from PETRONAS. Initially it's as a SIB. It's double-headed a little bit, then I slowly leverage my SME skill to staff well engineer in PETRONAS as well. And they know me also have some drilling background. Okay. So some certificates and just some skills set I did manage to. So that's about myself. Probably you guys can talk about yourself. I think maybe introduction a bit boring, right? So for ice-breaking purpose, I think maybe you guys just say one thing. What you enjoy the most in UTB throughout your degree or master time, or what you don't like the most, is pros and cons. Just give one things you feel you want to speak about. We start one by one. Everyone have talked about that. Start. Just one. Either good thing or bad things.
Bad thing. The toilet and my accommodation is a bad thing.
That's a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's all. Anything else you want? You want the feedback? You can talk to doctor as well.
That's stereotypes and stereotypes.
Okay. That's all.
That's it.
How about you? Okay.
It's all negative.
Aku nak ambil parking tau.
What you enjoy the most? freedom. That's what I feel during my university time. So you're not live with your parents anymore, right? So you can go out for dinners, whatever time.
Mine would be ayam penyet, ayam kukuh everywhere.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Intro.
Yes,
Very
it's
good.
kinda.
It's very good. I should try that. Very hot. I think that's what community in Kajang as well. I think most of the Malaysia campus is a huge size, and then not much trees. But here still maybe okay. But take a look at that. How about you? Even friend. Coach over. Okay. Yeah.
See the shawarma.
Good
shot,
Yeah.
Good.
Shawarma.
Shawarma. Humidity is hope.
So maybe you guys at least tell me your name. I suppose I'm trying to use this to your name, then you say about the one things.
My name is Adam.
Adam.
What I like is the TTT lake.
Okay. So you run, then you do jogging.
Swim.
One time.
Okay.
One summer. Once a year.
The facilities, especially at the academy.
For me.
Ivan.
Okay.
So, one thing I like is the sunset.
Okay, some positive. Yeah.
Yang tak ada main.
Tengok dengan siapa?
Seorang.
Video call siapa kan?
Good morning, sir. My name is Craig. I think the fourth one. Early. It's not all positive, right? Negative, I think is the parking lot lah. Not enough. Yeah.
When I study in Unit 10 also, some of my friends who drive also struggle. That's why I still happy with my motorbike. We can find you and as close to the faculty. Okay, yes please.
One thing I don't like about UP is how they keep promoting things as walkable, but there isn't enough sidewalks or like spaces for the bicycles or people. Like we all sharing the same road. Yeah, and I don't think it's safe.
There's no room.
Yeah,
And some got some
like I don't think it's walkable at all.
Good morning. My name is Adam. One thing that I don't like about UTP is the guards.
Security.
The security. Prevent you to go out at night.
No.
They're like someone.
Always
Extra
someone
check.
here and there.
Someone
Like KPI.
This is how they run the
Someone
budget.
do
Yeah.
Running out budget.
40 someone per month.
Okay.
Good morning, sir. My name is Arif Najmi. One thing I don't like about UTP is that the lighting at night is very dim.
Boleh apa Rip? Mana lah?
Past 5 years about
Dia lagi-
7 something the issue is what
Semua kena.
somehow the GPS actually cut me to the
Lari
back
takut kena.
door. I think somehow I come from before and then they just have one junction, then is go through all the wiring room, right?
Hi, morning sir. My name is Adib. One thing I like the most about ETP is
The memories.
it's campus life.
Okay.
Ooh.
You don't like or you like, sorry?
Like
You play games in the hostel?
No
yeah,
games, sir.
no game.
Study only.
Study only.
Only books, that's right.
That's good. That's good. Have good feedback to the management of the district.
Very good, sir.
Very good.
Very good.
Yeah. What about you?
Morning sir. My name is Daniel. One thing I don't like about UTP is the Wi-Fi,
First,
especially in my room.
Actually,
Actually, in
I feel
his
it's
room.
quite easy to connect just now. Connect to the gas, then it's okay.
But you connect for nothing, sir. There's no internet.
Downloading things are.
Good morning, sir. My name is Shamil. One thing I like about the UTP is the tranquility and the serenity of the campus.
Shakespeare.
What you mean? Can you elaborate a bit?
Oh.
Give some example.
At 7 o'clock, like right next to the mosque,
Mm.
in front of the gate, right?
azan.
You can select the golden hours.
Are you awake? Are you awake?
Since you guys like reading,
What a great guy.
You have the count.
What a great guy. What a guy.
Nice watch, like say Kutuna.
I bring two, and you one for just stat record, the other one for actual reading.
So we can finish early, is it, sir?
The time is out.
Thank you, sir.
Morning, sir. My name is Fadil. One thing I don't like UTP, the schedule of subject is really tight. 9 to 5.
You mean the master one or the degree one? Both.
A master.
Master one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see quite some challenge. That's why, in fact, I don't want to give too much of quiz questions to
Thank you.
I actually prepare quite a bit on these slides, so I do actually help you guys can keep these slides throughout your careers. You can always refer. As well as your
Solar.
upstream drilling, things like that. Every wells have a wellhead entry. Right? So, a bit ice break. Should we just...
Oh no, sir.
My name
Right.
is Bella. My name is Bella.
Malak.
Don't have anything. Like, don't have anything.
Nothing. No
She's good.
comment.
She's good,
No,
she's good.
no comment or no positive or no negative.
Yes, no comment.
It's all good.
Bravo.
So you guys got 31 students here, right? Just before I start the slides, probably let's stand up a little bit after all the ice-breaking introduction, right? I think,
Kamera man, nice kan?
no-
Man, kau depan sini man.
So, I don't have partner. You got 21%. So, you find your own partner. It can be 2 or 3.
Okay.
Then you just go to the side. Then you try to massage the next person. As much as you Turn to the other side. So you massage the next one. Turn to the other side. Okay? Okay, relax a bit. Okay. Okay. So
Okay, good night, sir.
Let me document the video whether the light
Yeah.
is okay.
The lighting is okay.
Okay, right. We started 6 days from like.
Main tegak sikit, main. Main.
So
Tegak sikit.
this whole course I think 1.5 day lah, right? So I have 4 chapters to cover. On top of 4 chapters, then tomorrow morning we will cover the actual demonstration on the module in our IB faculty day. So first is actually introduction to wellhead. Every wells must have a wellhead. From exploration, appraisal until production, or even the injection wells, we need a wellhead there. Right? Tree, introduction to tree, we'll talk about types of tree, like types of wellhead as well. So types of tree, but not all the wells have actually tree. If you understand a bit, actually exploration wells, we normally drill with the wellhead, we get whatever log, volume of data. If we don't flow the wells, we just do some DST and all this, we don't need a tree now. So we just, so not all the wells that we drill require a tree. It depends which stage. Then I'll introduce a bit on the international standards relate to wellhead and tree. API, we have some names, MR0175, we have NOSOC. I didn't quite cover the NOSOC part, but mainly will be the API. I think PETRONAS, we all actually kind of like more towards the API instead of ISO. But API and ISO, there are a lot of identical or similar spec there. But once in a while, they will overtake each other. Sometimes it's at 6A, become for wellhead is more prone compared to ISO for wellhead. So those are some introduction to industry standard. So after all the basic introductions, we'll talk a little bit more. It's not real advanced like the last 5 years what wellhead did. I think maybe the down the road, like since 70s, 80s, and then 90s, we start seeing some different technologies or different type of products that allow us to do more things to save our drilling costs, drilling and completion costs. Then I plan to do the quiz maybe after tomorrow demonstration. I don't want to give you guys to pack because I also just provide you guys the pack this morning, right? So if you want to refresh, you want to ask more questions, tomorrow during the demonstration you still have the chance to ask. Then we have a quiz now. Quiz will be just 10 questions. So all multiple choice. So no need to around. Right? Just make sure you enjoy this course, listen, then ask questions as much as you can. Yeah. So chapter 1, introduction to wellhead. There's the subtopics we are going to cover. First, to really give you the definitions. Where is this wellhead meant for? Which piece of equipment is that? Then installations. When we install this for exploration wells or whatever, the installation sequence, so, which associated with rig operations and all other rig equipment as well. So there's an installation part of this equipment. Then I will zoom in more details on the whole wellhead, the components in the wellhead, and each component is actually for what purpose. Then also about some tools. The component is really still the permanent install equipment into the wellhead, onto the wells. But we have some tools that we use to help us for certain operations, to run the hangers and all this. So then we also talk about the types of wellhead. Okay, so end of this course, I think we might actually like the students able to at least do this. They can describe the basic functions of the wellhead. Then explain the installations, how we install. When we drill a wells from beginning, how how we do the conductors and all this. Then the whole wellhead actually gives us the pressure containment, which you go on to the associate with the, you always install on to, or together with the OCTGs. That give you the whole wells architectures, allow you to drill deeper. Okay. So it's pressure containment equipment. And then understand the components. At least I think this year is actually the first time I bring the 3D models, because I think I try my best from the past few models. First start with slide, then improve with showing some animations, and then I still get a feedback. It's still a bit difficult to visualize how this thing looks like. So finally, I think the technology helped us. I managed to get some sponsored 3D models.
Solar.
Yeah, I have others as well. Yeah, correct. Okay. So by understanding all these components, and also we able to identify and describe different types of wellheads, and also understand the advantage and disadvantage of the wellhead, and then some function of the service tools, the tools that I mentioned that we require during the installation, and so on. So course outline, I think you guys clearer now. So what a wellhead is actually really based on the API 6.8 definition. Wellhead actually is this one. All permanent equipment between the uppermost portion of the surface casing and the tubing head at the point. So it will go really to the first, typically we go conductor. So it will, this wellhead, the bottommost, the casing head, will actually install on the conductor, start giving you the pressure containment. You might use dilator, then when you nipple out the next spool and all this, then you're using BOP and all this. So that's really from wellhead definition of API 6.8. So this is a red dot as a wellhead. On top of here is actually tree. So wellhead and tree, a lot of non-industry people, they associate wellhead and tree is like the same and all this, and then they call the wellhead is a tree. But actual definition, they are actually different. So what a tree is really on top of the wellhead. So wellhead is giving you pressure containment and also hanging a casing. But tree is basically really a series of valves. You see, as every equipment including giving head adapter, valve keys, cross, and this is all giving you all the valve that you can use as a well bearing. You tested it, you verified it, so it's established and verified as a barrier. Then you can use this barrier to isolate the valve. So if you got a leak here, so you if you want to shut down the production, you can basically close one of the valve here. The series of valves actually have its own purpose, how we want to use it. You might actually able to understand more when we go through the modules until the chapter 2 or 3 now. So this is here the definition. So what in our real life, this product, wellhead and tree, is really like a hand sanitizer. So it's somehow during COVID time, I was preparing this slide and I saw my kids was actually pressing the sanitizer, and I think this is quite reflective to what we really have, because what we want from the wells we inject, but the more primary from the past is produced, right? So when we produce, so what we do is really we have a reservoir here, let's say. So when we want to suck it out from the wells, we are not using like water wells like that, because water well is shallow and you might not get that kind of pressure, right? But typically like hydrocarbon wells producing hydrocarbon, actually they have a reservoir which is very deep with high pressure, and the pressure is where decide whether they can naturally flow it or they need some artificial deep. So that's how it is really a tubing. Imagine below here is a reservoir. So this is actually the tube come up. But without high pressure, like what we really do, right? So you actually have to actually, this is more like an artificial tube lah, if you imagine. So you have a valve, right? So when you press, you create the differential pressure. That's how the fluid actually really go up. And when you really go up, they have a check valve here, right? So this check valve is really the series of valve like a tree, right? So that's how actually I try to make it reflective hand sanitizer. So when you have the tubing here, imagine this cap have to connect to the tubing, right? So it have to seal off, right? So if this is not sealing, then whatever it will pick up. So that's how LPC, loss of pressure containment, LPC, gas containment. Then we do need seals, and then when we really imagine this tubing is really very heavy. This track really have to tap that loop, right? So basically this is more like a tubing hanger, where it's suspending the tubing. So it's suspending the loop like that. So any questions? So far okay? Okay. So I just going to this is really out of the way. I just try to prove it. So I break down the whole system to these 5 subtopics. So we have housing, we have housing and spools, which is actually the wellhead sections. Inside the wellhead, we actually have hangers, but in between the wellheads, we have wellhead connections. So and then the hangers, we hang the OCTG, can be a casing or tubing hangers. Then we have the seals to isolate. So then the last thing is a tree line. Okay. Later I think when we go more details on the components and all this, then we will start to use the components now. Okay. You guys can install a tree later on also. I purposely don't put on the tree. So when we come there, you guys maybe can compare some and just put the tree on. Okay. At least you've got the motions that I think will be more helpful. So function of the wellhead really secure and suspend the casing and tubing with hangers. Hangers will be sitting on the wellhead which suspend on the wood. Because imagine the deeper the wells, the whole casing architectures can be very heavy. So typically each well can easily close to 1 million pounds that kind of weight. So that's how suspending the roof. Then each annulus is isolated. So what happens is when we first start the conductor, which maybe like 200 feet. So then we put on a wellhead, we isolate, we drill the next one. So we will run another casing, surface casing, then we isolate each one. Allow us to drill deeper and deeper. What need to isolate, where we set the casing seat is actually need the casing design. So casing design, you guys have run through any casing design course, right? On the drilling side. Who come did that? Sorry, just okay. So casing design, you understand, right? Multiple string casing, then you got the tubing. So they are all heavy, and then each string have its consideration. So I'm not sure our course for the casing design, did they actually tell you the top-down method, bottom-up method, right? That's how then also it relate to the reservoir, not reservoir but the subsurface, the lithology, where you want to isolate, because some formation below, like sands, like shale, like carbonate, limestone, and all this, we need to isolate before we enter the next deeper section. If not, when we drill, we might actually have losses and all this. So those are all the consideration, how to design the casing seat, where how deep each casing section is set. Then it's contribute to the casing weight that you must hang casing hangings. I think so far most of the provider